And I'm going to screen share. All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. I'm excited to have you join in today's Lunch and Learn. This has been a series that is running through September. Lots of great health topics. And really, the entire purpose of this is to empower you with simple solutions, with natural solutions to living your best life. My name is Andrea Bond. I am a certified health and life coach, as well as a wellness educator with the Juice Plus company. I was introduced to Juice Plus about 19 years ago, at a time when I was really seeking answers, questioning a lot of the genetic trends in my family, and wondering if there was anything proactive I could do for my health. I also, at that point in time, had three younger kiddos. They were in elementary and middle school. They're all grown up now and even have a grandson. And so, when I saw what Juice Plus was, which I'll tell you just a little bit about it in a bit, but we're going to really focus on immunity today and the balancing of your immune system. But when I saw what it was, I thought, what if? What if this could make a difference? And it has been so impactful in our family. And more importantly, the education that I've gained along the way has been so valuable. It inspired me, of course, to become a certified health coach, but also to share this information in the hopes that others can feel empowered and live healthier, higher quality lives as well. And so I chose the topic of immunity today, because this was one I remember when I first really started paying attention to immune health, if you will. I thought of what probably many of us do. We think about getting sick, right? We think of the germs and the viruses that we encounter. We don't feel good, so what do we do? We think, oh, I better go grab a vitamin C tablet for that, get more vitamin C in my diet, or maybe we're running to like CVS or Walgreens, whatever your local pharmacy might be, grabbing that over the counter cold medicine. But there's a whole side of immune health that can get overlooked because it really presents itself more as chronic illness and disease conditions that I know when I heard about them, I was like, wait a minute. There's actually a direct correlation to the immune system with that. So we're going to jump into this topic today. We're going to talk about the idea of balancing your immune system. So the idea here is that you have an immune system that is strong enough to defend when you need it to defend or to defend you from all those germs and viruses, etc., but then also calm enough to protect. And so it's really about a balancing act, if you will. And I love visuals. So my visual here that I think of is a teeter-totter, right? And you've got the teeter-totter. And so you can have an overactive immune system where it's out of whack and it's really the body kind of attacking itself. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Or you can have that underactive immune system where it's weakened and you're getting sick often. And so it really comes down to the T and B cells within the immune system. So, if you really want to get technical, I don't like to go too deep. I like to keep things pretty simple. But if you really want to understand, you've got these are two main components to immune health, and the T cells in particular, they're called like the helper cells or the killer cells. So their job is to activate other immune cells, and they also go in and kill things like cancers that might develop. The B cells, they produce antibodies. So think of them more as like they have a longer term memory. So they allow that protection where your body can fight off something that maybe it was exposed to before. And so the idea is that these cells within our immune system are going to work together as a team, right? But and they're in these cases of autoimmune conditions or a weakened immune system, they're not. They're just bottom line, they're out of a whack. So with autoimmune conditions, the T and B cells actually begin to attack the body's own tissue. And then when we have the weakened immune system, they're just struggling to interact effectively all together. They're just not communicating right. So let's first look at what we're most used to, the weakened immune system, right? This is the germs, the viruses that we get exposed to. It's when our immune system is underperforming. And again, we're thinking, I need to give it a boost. So it's interesting as we go through this Lunch and Learn series that many of the same culprits of all illness and disease, all health challenges, keep presenting themselves. If you've been on one before, you're probably already picking up on this. So, causes of immune system you can see here, or of a weak immune system, I should say. Poor diet, stress. Stress is, oh my gosh, talk about how it raises cortisol levels and just hard to on our bodies. And then lack of sleep, inflammation, and nutritional deficiencies. And so this is where, again, we've got these things that are causing our immune system to just be run down. So we're getting exposed to different illnesses. I can certainly think of this. Last week, our topic was back to school, and right, kiddos go back to school, and if they have a weakened immune system, they're more than likely to get sick, and especially those first couple months, because now they're exposed to a lot more. This can also be like fever conditions when that's our body's natural way of saying, hey, something's going on and I want to fight this off. So I think this is pretty common for most of us. But when the immune system is overactive, this is when we see autoimmune disease present itself. And so, again, we kind of touched on what's happening here. The T and B cells are just in this state of chaos, if you will. And so they're mistakenly attacking the body instead of the illness. And of course, that when your body is under this constant kind of attack, you're going to create chronic inflammation. You're going to be dealing with more pain, more long-term damage. Autoimmune conditions can definitely be long-term and very damaging. And why I think this is such an important topic to talk about is because they are on the rise. Like, I think this is one of the big things, short of maybe diabetes, type 2 diabetes in particular, that we're seeing escalate faster and faster and faster. And so, again, you see that the common causes very similar. You can throw in environment, toxins could be part of that, right? But sleep, stress, diet, these same trends keep presenting themselves. And the good news here, this is why I really wanted to share on this topic, and I think it's so empowering, is that diet and lifestyle can calm them, can basically bring that immune system back down into balance, if you will. And so let's just take a moment and look at some of the most common autoimmune conditions. You've probably heard of some of these. Some of these you may not have. MS, right? Multiple sclerosis, lupus. We hear about those kinds of things quite often. Skin conditions like psoriasis or vitiligo. That's how you say it. Yes. Actually know somebody who deals with that. But really asthma, allergies, those are things, again, I remember going to the school nurse at my son's elementary school years ago and just seeing shockingly how many children are facing asthma and allergy issues that I don't remember when I was in school way back when. And yet, never did I think at that time, well, that's an autoimmune issue. But again, it's just the body is just overactive, and our goal is to calm it down. And so, when I look at this, all these different types of illnesses, here's the first thing that comes to mind for me. What do? We go to a doctor. Certainly, these need medical attention, and that is an important thing, but we typically get prescribed something. We end up with some kind of a treatment plan, and that's a really important thing to address because that's what we're doing. We're treating, but we're not fixing, right? We're not necessarily able to, drugs are really kind of that band-aid. They can, calm symptoms down, and very important in certain situations. I know my mom has had Parkinson's for 35 years, and her Parkinson's medications are a very vital component to her quality of life. But the empowering thing here, again, is that there are proactive things we can do primarily through diet and lifestyle that can help maybe even reduce the need of some of those medications, but certainly calm the situation. So if you're looking at this list and you're thinking of people's names already that how cool is it that you're going to be armed and equipped with this information that you can then go and pass along. So let's talk about food as medicine. There is absolutely, I think it goes back to Hippocrates, BC, that says, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. That is a very, very famous quote. And so, again, where drugs and medication are needed at times and can help manage, What we're talking about when it comes to food is nature's medicine, actually food being more of a fix. And so there's two primary things when you're looking at food that we want to be getting an abundance of in our diet. The first one is antioxidants. Okay, so these are coming from Whole Foods. I'm just going to say it right now. They are not in the hot dog, the burger, the French fries, the overly processed foods we tend to eat. These are naturally occurring. And if you really want to get technical, it's about missing electrons and the antioxidants. Your free radicals are traveling through your body and they're missing an electron. And so they're going and they're hitting other cells, which is causing the aging, the damage, the illness developing, all that kind of stuff. But when you get more antioxidants in your body, you're actually neutralizing that free radical damage. So again, simple, I like to give really great visuals. And so the visual that holds true in this case is that apple that you cut open and you let it sit there and free radical damage is happening. It's oxidizing and it's being attacked and it's turning brown. But when we squeeze something like lemon juice on it, which is an antioxidant, then we actually neutralize that, right? So we can really improve the situation and avoid that browning. And so when it comes to our immune cells, these antioxidants are going to help them function more properly. It's going to allow them to do their job better. Remember, T and B cells kind of getting out of whack, whether it's weakened or it's overactive immune systems. And so those antioxidants can balance them out. And then I don't know if you've heard of the term phytonutrients. I remember the first time I heard of it, I was like, what? Phyto? I remember that from science class a little bit. But they're basically plant-based nutrients, and it is amazing. This is where that thought process of nature's medicine really comes into play. Because I'll give you the example of one apple. The average apple has 10,000 phytonutrients in it. So 10,000 different nutrients. So I want you to think about this. You go to the grocery store and you buy an apple, right? You might go, and you buy, let's think of something else, some peanut butter in the aisle. And it's going to have a label, and you can look at how much of this and how much of that. You don't even think about that when you think about an apple, right? Because you think, well, this is food. An apple doesn't have a label. But here's the thing, if it did, could you imagine a list of 10,000 different phyto or plant-based, again, nutrients? And here's the cool thing, nature is just so incredible. They work together. So they are working in this synergistic way. So think of like an orchestra. If you go and you listen to an orchestra and all the instruments playing together, it's this beautiful music. If you just get rid of all the other instruments and put maybe one instrument on that stage, the music sounds very different. And so phytonutrients are coming from the food again. And this is why vitamins aren't necessarily the answer, because they are that extraction or pulling that one instrument away from everything else that it was meant to sound and work beautifully with. And so a diet rich in fruits and vegetables, right? Plant-based, but the more the better, if you will, is what's going to help reduce the inflammation, so help calm the immune system when overactive, but also offer strengthening impact as well when we're talking about a weak immune system. And, again, I just have to touch on it because we have an overly processed, ultra processed diet for the most part. What did I hear? It's 80% of what we eat today did not exist, did not even exist, right? So certainly not from a farm over 100 years ago. And so the challenge is we've gotten away from all the things that are truly nourishing our body and protecting us from disease. That's why we are seeing higher incidence of things like diabetes, like autoimmune conditions, and we're also seeing children struggle with things that didn't happen years ago. And so I have to just tell you, this has been the best immune function solution, I should say, for our family ever. So 19 years ago, I see this image of all these beautiful fruits and vegetables, little different image today, but those 30 different plants. And I see that, and I don't know anything about what I'm sharing now. I had not studied nutrition at this point in time, but my logical mom brain said, well, we could possibly be healthier if that went into our body every day. And here we are 19 years later. I always say this is our story. Juice Plus never claims to treat or prevent anything. But in 19 years, my three kids literally went through elementary, middle, high school, college, graduate work, into parenthood even, and have not had a sick doctor visit. Their immune systems are so solid, nor have they had to deal with an autoimmune condition because, again, they've got a balanced immune system. My 16-month-old grandson, same thing, makes my grandma or my Gigi heart really happy to know that he has better protection because when my kids were that little, I did not know this information, and it's why I'm so passionate about sharing. So you can certainly reach out to the person who invited you to learn more about the details of Juice Plus. I'll just tell you real quickly that they are working with farmers to grow this produce to peak nutrient content and then grinding it up and dehydrating it. And those dehydrated plant powders are going into capsules, chewables, or even a delicious drink mix. So you have your choice. And a couple things I love most about it, because we do need to get on top of children's nutrition and reversing some of these tendencies that we're seeing escalate, is children can take this for free with an adult order. But more importantly, because I am a skeptic by nature, it's about research. There are almost 50 published studies proving what Juice Plus does. So I'm just going to show you three today, real briefly, because this is what made me go, what if? Why not? Let's give this a try for a few months and see what it might do for us. So, Journal of Nutrition did a study and showed this was in highly trained male athletes that the Juice Plus powders actually helped reduce oxidative stress, improve immunity, and minimize illness. Also did a study, same kind of benefit, showing improved immune function in the elderly and non-smokers and non-smokers. So interestingly, because we know smoking creates challenge for health. And then reduction of common cold systems. This was published in the British Journal of Nutrition by encapsulated Juice Plus powders, right? Fruit, vegetables, in a randomized double-blind placebo-controlled trial. And I spit all that out for you because I want to say this. This is first-class research. This is independent research, and it's proving. And for me personally, that's what mattered. And so here's the truth of the matter. If we're going to avoid illness and disease, if we're going to live longer quality lives, we need to be more proactive. And there are many different things that we can do. Sleep, super important. We know I'm in my ball cap because I just finished my exercise about 30 minutes ago and I haven't had a chance yet to shower. Sorry. Good thing you can't smell me. But hey, because I know movement is that important. Stress management and avoiding toxins. I honestly think in today's world, those are harder. Those are much harder. But here's the thing with all this, I mean, all of these things are so, so valuable. But the first step can be just protecting yourself with Juice Plus. And it has been that catalyst that has moved our family forward to recognize and understand like, hey, food is so vital. Choosing quality food is so important for our protection and good health long term. But also, hey, we want to prioritize our sleep because we're not just going to eat the good stuff, right? We're not just going to take Juice Plus. It's truly that catalyst that leads to those other changes. So, again, if you have interest in learning more about it, you can reach out to the person who invited you. You can scan this QR code right now, or that's my email address below. You're certainly welcome to reach out. You have options when getting started. You can just, sign up, be a customer, get all this information. We even have a phenomenal educational event happening 2 nights from now, Thursday evening, on children's health. Healthy Starts with it's a sports medicine pediatrician. That's a mouthful. He'll be speaking. I love that so many medical professionals share about the value of Juice Plus because they've looked at the research and they know that this is something vital for people's health. If you, in looking at it, say, gosh, this sounds good, but I'm not sure where it's going to fit in my budget, ask us about the wholesale option. Because if you have a couple people in your life that you want to get started on it, you can earn back and get offset that cost. That's kind of what I did at the very beginning. Or you can get like crazy passionate like me, realizing that this is the part of the solution. It's not the band-aid, but it can truly fix things over time. It is so powerful what food can do in the diet. So I want to thank you for joining me today. And I would encourage you next week, we're going to be talking about gut health. And I'm even seeing if we can have a special guest speaker for that one. So you just don't have to listen to me all the time and my crazy enthusiasm. But I hope you took something of value away from this. I hope that if you know somebody with an autoimmune condition, especially because they are so predominant, please share this information. This is how we create a healthier world. We learn, we invest in the education. So kudos to you for showing up or listening to the recording, perhaps, and learning more. And then we share it. So I would say sharing is caring. And I hope that what I shared with you today blesses you in some way. And I thank you so much. Have a great afternoon.